3 weeks ago, I bought a dusty, unlabeled hard drive at a garage sale for $5. The guy selling it told me it came out of an old family PC that had been sitting in a humid basement since 2011. When I got home and plugged it into my rig, it was almost entirely wiped, except for a single loose directory hidden deep in the app data, a .minecraft folder. And inside that folder, there was only one world, saved under a title that was just a date, April 14th, 2011. When the world loaded, I spawned directly inside a massive stone fortress sprawling across a jagged mountain range. But it wasn't just a random build. The more I looked, the more I realized how much love went into this. There were little dirt paths, a carefully fenced-in wheat farm, and a bridge built across the valley. It felt incredibly nostalgic, like a perfect time capsule of how we all used to play back then. I spent the first hour exploring, marveling at this dead player's memories. It felt peaceful, but the deeper I went into the castle, the more the atmosphere started to sour. I was walking down the main corridor when the game's audio completely died. No footsteps, no wind, nothing. And then, coming through my headphones, I heard a whisper. It wasn't a standard Minecraft sound file. It sounded like static-heavy, distorted human audio, panning right into my left ear. It was a faint, raspy breath, whispering a phrase I couldn't quite make out. It didn't sound angry. It sounded desperate, like a voice trying to break through a wall of static. I froze, staring down the dark hallway, straining to hear it again. And as I turned around to sprint back to the surface, I realized the hallway wasn't the same as when I walked down it. The exit was gone. In its place was a solid wall of smooth stone. Panic started to set in. I frantically opened the menu. Single player. I pulled out my pickaxe and began furiously digging through the stone, desperate to get back out to the open air. But the stone just kept going. I broke through the wall, but I wasn't back outside. The game was forcing me deeper. The stone path led me down into the bedrock, opening up into a massive underground room. And that's where the memories of this world turned completely dark. The entire floor was covered in signs, row after row of them, placed side by side in absolute darkness. I approached the closest one and placed a torch to read it. It was a message. A real message left by the kid who used to own this drive. It said, "Mom said we have to move out by Friday." I walked to the next sign. "They are taking the computer." Another one, "I don't want to leave my world behind." It wasn't a glitch. It was the digital manifestation of absolute isolation. Whoever built this fortress had poured their entire childhood into it. And when they were forced to leave it behind, that heavy, heartbreaking desperation somehow stained the code itself. The whispers weren't a monster. They were the echoes of a kid who didn't want to be forgotten. I finally reached the very center of the room, where a single, lone sign stood under a hole in the ceiling. The text on the sign said, "You are here now." I slowly tilted my camera directly upward. High up in the dark ceiling, a single block of stone was missing, showing the gray beta fog. No entity appeared, just the empty, suffocating fog drifting through the hole. The whisper audio plays one last time. "Thank you." I sat there shaking. I don't care if it sounds crazy, because the scariest part isn't that the game was haunted. It's that when I looked at my desktop's file history the next morning, the world file hadn't been modified since October 12th, 2011. Whatever was trapped in that world had been waiting in the dark for 15 years, just wanting someone to remember it.